So in the last video, you guys saw that we tuned the G80 and we started running 93 on it, but we haven't really put E85. And that was the goal for today at least, but it's still a little bit cold. I want to make sure that we're getting enough traction since we're not running any meaty tires when we put E85 in it. So for the time being, we're going to do some other mods, and that's why we have our entire engine bay disassembled and our bumper is like 90% off. And that's because we're going to be installing this RK titanium front mount intake, and I think this thing is going to look amazing in the car. I don't think normally you would think this color combo would work, but I think it's going to look really good. I think it's going to break up the engine bay a little bit, and the plan is to get this painted Isle of Man green as well as the engine cover, so then this will stand out just a little bit more. And we went with like it's like a purple bronzy color. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera. But yeah, this thing is beautiful, and they're gonna pop up right here. So we do gotta get all this situated. But yeah, we got 90% of everything disassembled, so it's just a matter of pulling this bumper off, starting to cut the holes for the front mount, and then we can start installing this thing back in. Okay, so in terms of the orientation of this thing, but yeah, look at that. That thing is glistening in the sun right now. And unlike majority of these Alibaba titanium intakes, these are actually built in-house in the RK titanium factory. I don't know if we want to call it that, but they actually take, I think, 8 to 12 weeks to custom make. They dip them to the exact color that you want. So you can, I think my original option, because we have a lot of green, I thought gold was gonna look really good in the car, and they have a full custom gold color, and honestly it looked really good. But titanium is not titanium unless it has all the different colors on it. So that's why I went with, I think, Midnight. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was like a Midnight V2, something like that.
Yeah, so I think we went with Midnight. This thing has like a little bit of all the colors on it, hence why we went with it. And like I said, I think it's gonna contrast the green really well. That's why, but.
I think this piece you can see it a lot.
Yeah, right here. Like this is dirty. This is the one everyone's been touching in my house.
I'm pretty sure Brooke put his mouth on it.
Yeah, no, even my son put his mouth on it. Ah, that looks so pretty. I'm excited for this. And I'm glad, if you guys saw on my Instagram, I took a poll on whether you guys wanted to see E85 front mount intakes or this arm mid pipe, and you guys voted for the front mount intakes, which I'm glad you did because I was super excited to put these on. So I think the orientation is going to be something like this. Let's see if we can get set up, and I'll show you guys how it looks. If you're wondering how it's going to sit in the car itself, this should be kind of the orientation. You're going to have the long pipe going down. It's going to take a 45-degree angle right there into another 45 into the front of the bumper, and then that's going to go off your smaller inlet or outlet, and then it's going to turn up and then into the front bumper right there. So let's go ahead and start cutting away our plastic here on both sides and see if we can start plugging everything back in. All right, so we got the first pipe in, and I put it on without the clamp, unfortunately. So I don't want to take it out. How do I put this on?
Couldn't you just unwrap the whole thing?
Yeah, but even that's a pain in the ass. And I think this is how it goes. I could be wrong. Like the orientation could be a little off, but that's what we're gonna figure out. Oh no, I knew this one was gonna take a long time. Hence why I did all the work ahead of time. You know the mic's on me, right? They can't hear you.
Oh.
So this is a lot more difficult than expected. but we got one side in. I think it's mostly just because of the tight fitment and tolerances, but we got this side. The biggest issue was getting this pipe to fit right in this area, but this one was very easy to put on. And then we did have to loosen up the headlight a decent amount to get this pipe into place. And now from the front, the angles just need to be positioned a little bit better, but for the most part, I think we're in a good spot. We should be able to finish this up pretty soon here. So unfortunately, the intakes that they send are blue, which, yeah, but I don't like it. So what I did was found these cheap little covers, and it's gonna act twofold. One, it's gonna break up the blue a little bit, but then two, it kind of acts as a dust cover slash rain cover, so that water, I know a lot of people are scared that water is gonna get into their front mount. So this kind of sits on top, and this will make the blue a little bit less prominent.
Yeah,
and then also like protect it a little bit. So now it doesn't look as prominent blue, which was kind of the goal. And again, it's gonna act as like a little safety, but this will sit kind of like that. We got the other one on the other side, and then we can go ahead and start this thing and see how it sounds. We'll just start it up like this so you guys can see it, and then we can start it up once it's out on the road and whatnot, and get like the final test sounds. So we got everything in. It was honestly a pain, but let's go ahead and do a little test. Go ahead. Oh, see right there, right there. So we just finished installing the intakes on the car, and I will say I do have some mixed feelings about it, and that's because we have these big gaping holes right here and right here. But as you can see, the intake itself looks really good, especially when you come closer and you see that we have the other piping right there. Yeah, I really like the titanium finish. And right now I left the little filter guards on just because I wasn't sure how the blue would look, but I can pull them off. But you guys let me know in the comments, should I just leave it blue because it'll match up with the headlight, or should I leave it how it is right now where it's kind of black, a little bit of blue, not too noticeable. More than anything, this is making me want to speed up the process for the other engine bay mods that I want to do, and that's painting some of the other parts, like getting this paint match to Isle of Man green, getting this paint match, and then getting a titanium strut brace, because then I think the engine bay will pop a lot more. Right now this does pop, but it's not enough. Like, I do kind of like the top mount intake kit because you see more of the piping come up to here, and then same with this side, you see a little bit more of the piping. It kind of fills up a lot of the space, but I think for the sound aspect, this one is better. So now that we got everything installed and it's on the car, I wanted to see how it sounded in the car itself, because when it was parked, it didn't really make too much of a difference. So windows closed. Actually, let me turn off M2 mode, because otherwise all we're gonna hear is pops and bangs. Okay, so in the car, I'm hearing a little bit of the intake sound, but I'm tempted to see how it sounds once we have our window open. Not sure if you guys are gonna be able to hear this, but that is actually really nice. Yeah, that's actually pretty loud. Like, I can hear it pretty clearly inside the car when the windows are open. Again, you can hear it a little bit when the windows are closed, but this is exactly why we did the front mounts, because of that noise. I'm sure you get some of it when you do the top mount intakes, but from what I've heard or from what I've read, this is a little bit more prominent and a little bit louder from the outside. Okay, so I think what I'm gonna do is put the mic in the engine bay for the first run and then see how it sounds. You guys are gonna hear a lot of ticking noises because of the injectors on this thing, but I think for the second run, I'll have the mic on the camera so you guys can actually see how it sounds once it's like driving by and stuff. So for the first one at least, I'll go ahead and place this over here. So that's how it sounds in the engine bay. I'm gonna put the mic down right here and then see if it picks up the audio. So we're back at the house now, and I'm super happy with how this thing came out. From first glance, you can't really tell it's in there until you get a little bit closer, and then you see the very bright titanium just popping out. But again, we're still not done with the engine bay. We're still gonna paint this. We're still gonna paint the valve cover or the engine cover, and then get these V-brace and this brace across the top in titanium as well to finish up the look. And once that happens, I think the engine bay will look a lot more complete, and this will start to make a little bit more sense. Hopefully this was helpful for anyone looking to get an intake or kind of deciding which intakes they want to go with. For me, it was a no-brainer to go with this one, but again, it is very expensive, so just be aware of that. Otherwise, I love it. Now, we do have some more work that needs to get done on this car. For one, we need to go put E85 in it. I still haven't done that because it's been pretty cold, but today is actually pretty warm, so today would have been a good day to do that, but I want to make sure I'm recording it for you guys. You guys can see my reaction on how fast this thing is. So we're going to hold off on that for a few more days. And in the meantime, we also have a single mid pipe. So this is ARM's new 4.5 inch. So a lot larger than stock. I think most aftermarket are 3 inches. This is a 4.5 inch single mid pipe. So this thing is gonna start sounding a lot crazier, a lot louder, and a lot more different than it currently does, because this has a dual mid pipe, this is a single, and in my opinion, the single does sound a lot better. If you haven't already, go down, subscribe, stay tuned, because we still have a lot more stuff on this car, and then hopefully by then we have some news of the E30 and when that car is gonna be back. And I can't wait to see that car side by side, two Isle of Man green cars sitting on the driveway. I think that's gonna look absolutely insane. So super excited for that, and hopefully you guys tag along for all of that as well. But thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.